Bitcoin Radio, the sound of the chain.
Hey everyone, welcome to our discussion on Algorand. It's a blockchain platform that's been generating a lot of buzz, and I think understanding Algorand could be really valuable for anyone interested in crypto, especially if you're already familiar with Bitcoin. So we're going to explore what makes Algorand unique and how it tackles some of the same challenges as Bitcoin, but with its own distinct approach.
Yeah, that's a great point. While Bitcoin was the pioneer, it's fascinating to see how newer blockchains like Algorand are building upon those foundations and trying to solve some of the issues that have come up, particularly around speed and scaling for wider adoption.
Exactly. To start off, Algorand is a platform for building decentralized applications, kind of like Bitcoin, but its focus is on being super fast secure and capable of handling a massive amount of transactions. It was launched in 2019 by a brilliant mind in the field of cryptography, someone who has received the highest honors for their work.
And that background is really key to understanding Algorand's approach. They even used a unique method called a Dutch auction for their initial coin offering, which, unlike a traditional ICO, starts with a high price and gradually lowers it until someone buys in. It's a clever way to find a fair market price right from the start and ensure a more equitable launch. Bitcoin, of course, had a very different beginning.
Right. So let's get into the heart of it. How does Algorand actually achieve this speed and efficiency? I'm really curious about their pure proof-of-stake system.
It's a key difference from Bitcoin's proof-of-work model, with PPOS instead of miners needing tons of computing power to solve complex puzzles. Algorand randomly selects users to validate transactions based on how much algo, the platform's native cryptocurrency, they hold.
So the more algo you own, the higher the chances of you being selected to validate transactions and earn rewards. That's a huge departure from Bitcoin's mining process, which would be very energy intensive. But does this approach compromise security in any way?
Not at all. The random selection process and the fact that validators have a financial stake in the network actually enhances security. It disincentivizes any malicious activity because they would risk losing their stake. This allows Algorand to achieve incredible speeds. We're talking about 1,000 transactions per second with a confirmation time of just 5 seconds.
Wow. That is lightning fast compared to Bitcoin, where transactions can take much longer to confirm. But how does Algorand handle such a high volume of transactions without getting bogged down?
They've implemented a clever 2-layer architecture. Think of it like this. The first layer is like the foundation, handling all the essential stuff, basic transactions, smart contracts, creating new assets, and maintaining overall security. Then you have the second layer built on top, which is designed specifically for more complex tasks, like those decentralized applications or dApps that we see emerging in the crypto world.
So it's like having a dedicated express lane that keeps the core system running smoothly, while more complex operations happen on a separate track. That's a really interesting approach.
Exactly. It allows Algorand to scale more effectively, potentially handling a much larger number of transactions, compared to Bitcoin's single-layer blockchain.
Now let's talk about Algorand, the native cryptocurrency of the Algorand ecosystem. How does it function within this system, and how does its role compare to Bitcoin's?
Algorand is essential to the Algorand ecosystem, just like Bitcoin is to its own network. You use it for staking paying transaction fees, participating in governance decisions, and supporting the network's overall growth. But here's a key difference. With Algorand's PPOS, you don't have to actively stake your algo to earn rewards. Simply holding it in a compatible wallet is enough.
Wait, so you earn passive income just by holding algo? That's quite different from Bitcoin, where you can't earn rewards simply by holding. Tell me more about that.
Yes, that's right. It's a very attractive feature. Think of it as earning interest on your savings, but in the world of crypto. The current reward rate is around 7.5% annually, which incentivizes people to hold algo and contribute to the network's stability. It's a completely different approach to rewarding participants compared to Bitcoin.
That's a pretty compelling incentive. Okay, so we've talked about how Algorand works, but let's get into what you can actually do with it. I know it's being used for some really interesting projects, especially in the world of decentralized finance or DeFi.
Absolutely. DeFi is exploding in popularity, and Algorand is becoming a hub for all sorts of innovative projects. We're seeing platforms like Yieldly Tinyman and Algify built on Algorand, offering a range of services that cut out the traditional middlemen lending borrowing. And trading all in a decentralized way. It's a whole new approach to finance compared to what Bitcoin offers, which is more focused on being a store of value.
It sounds like these platforms are taking advantage of Algorand's speed and low transaction fees to offer a seamless user experience. What about NFTs? I've heard that Algorand is gaining traction as a platform for creating and trading NFTs as well.
That's right. Algorand speed and efficiency make it a really attractive option for NFTs. Think about it. If you're trading NFTs, you want those transactions to be fast and inexpensive. Algorand makes that possible. It's a great example of how Algorand is carving out its own niche in the NFT space. Compared to Bitcoin, which, while it laid the foundation for blockchain technology, isn't as well suited for high-volume NFT transactions.
That makes a lot of sense. So we have DeFi and NFTs, both areas where Algorand seems to be making significant progress. But what other applications are out there? I know there's been some talk about using Algorand for tokenizing real-world assets. Can you explain what that means and how it works?
It's a really interesting area, and it has the potential to be revolutionary. Essentially, tokenizing real-world assets means taking something like real estate or fine art and representing it digitally on the blockchain as a token. Algorand, with its security and speed, is well suited for this. It allows for fractional ownership, meaning you can own a small piece of a larger asset. And it also increases liquidity, making it easier to buy and sell.
So you could potentially own a fraction of a famous painting or a piece of a skyscraper. That's pretty mind-blowing. I can see how that could open up a whole new world of investment opportunities and potentially democratize access to assets that were previously out of reach for many people. What's interesting is that Bitcoin's technology, while secure, doesn't lend itself as easily to this kind of application.
You're exactly right. It's a great example of how Algorand is pushing the boundaries of what's possible with blockchain technology.
Now, Algorand isn't the only player trying to innovate in this space. How does it compare to other platforms like Solana, which is also known for its speed and efficiency? I'm particularly curious about how their approaches differ.
Both Algorand and Solana are aiming to solve the blockchain trilemma, achieving security, scalability, and decentralization simultaneously. It's a challenge that Bitcoin also grapples with. However, they take different paths to get there. Solana uses a method called proof of history, which timestamps transactions to increase speed. Algorand, as we've discussed, relies on its pure proof-of-stake system.
So it's a different approach to achieving a similar goal. Which one is faster, though? I know speed is a major selling point for both platforms.
Right now, Solana holds the speed crown, processing an incredible 50,000 transactions per second. But while Algorand may not be quite that fast, they're strategically focusing on building strong partnerships with institutions and governments. In fact, the Republic of the Marshall Islands chose Algorand to develop their national digital currency.
Wow, a national digital currency. That's a huge vote of confidence in Algorand's technology. So it sounds like Algorand is prioritizing real-world adoption and long-term sustainability. While Solana is pushing the boundaries of speed, it's fascinating to see these different approaches playing out, especially when you compare them to Bitcoin, which has a different set of strengths and a more established presence.
It's like different horses for different courses. Each platform has its own unique advantages and is targeting different segments of the market.
Now, for anyone who's really interested in digging deeper into Algorand, there's a fantastic resource called Algo Explorer. It's similar to a Bitcoin blockchain explorer, which I know a lot of crypto enthusiasts are familiar with. What can you find on Algo Explorer? And how can it help someone understand Algorand better?
Algo Explorer is a treasure trove of information. You can track transactions, explore block sizes, analyze the distribution of Algo, and really get a sense of the network's activity in real time. There's even a staking calculator, so you can estimate your potential rewards based on your Algo holdings. It's a great way to visualize how Algorand works in practice, just like a Bitcoin blockchain explorer provides insights into Bitcoin's network.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, highlighting many of Algorand's strengths and its potential. But let's be realistic, every blockchain platform faces challenges. What are some of the hurdles Algorand might encounter on its path to wider adoption?
Well, the competition in the blockchain space is incredibly fierce. Ethereum, Solana, and of course Bitcoin are all vying for dominance. Algorand needs to clearly define its niche and showcase what makes it unique and valuable to attract users and developers. It's a constantly evolving landscape. And staying ahead of the curve is crucial. Even Bitcoin, with its first-mover advantage, faces ongoing challenges from newer, more agile blockchains.
So the challenge for Algorand, and indeed for any blockchain platform, is to prove its value in a crowded and dynamic market. What other challenges do you see on the horizon for Algorand?
Regulation is a big one. The crypto world is still navigating a complex and evolving regulatory landscape. And Algorand, like any other cryptocurrency, faces scrutiny from regulators worldwide. It's a challenge that Bitcoin has been dealing with for years, and it's something that Algorand will need to address proactively.
It definitely seems like regulation is a key factor that could influence the entire crypto industry, including Bitcoin, as it continues to grow. Are there any other challenges specific to Algorand that we should be aware of?
One area that has sparked some debate is community governance. Some people have raised concerns about the level of influence the Algorand Foundation has, and whether the community's voice is being adequately represented in decision-making processes. It's an interesting contrast to Bitcoin, which has a more decentralized governance model, though it also faces its own unique challenges in that regard.
So Algorand, like many blockchain projects, needs to find that balance between centralized guidance and community-driven development. It's a complex issue, and it'll be interesting to see how they navigate it.
Absolutely. Finding that sweet spot will be crucial for long-term success. And it's something that both newer platforms like Algorand and more established ones like Bitcoin are constantly working on.
All right, so we've covered a lot about Algorand, its origins, its technology, its potential applications, and even some of the challenges it faces as we wrap up. What would you say is the most important thing for our listeners to take away from this discussion?
I think the key takeaway is that Algorand offers a fresh perspective on how blockchain technology can be used to create a more efficient and inclusive financial system. It's pushing the boundaries of what's possible with its focus on speed, scalability, and real-world applications. While Bitcoin paved the way and remained the dominant force, Algorand is exploring different approaches to solving some of the fundamental challenges that blockchain technology faces.
It definitely seems like Algorand is a platform to watch, especially as the crypto landscape continues to evolve at such a rapid pace. Before we go, I always like to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question, something to ponder, as they continue their own exploration of the crypto world. We've talked a lot about how Algorand differs from Bitcoin in its approach, but here's the question. Could these two seemingly different blockchains actually complement each other in the future? Could they potentially work together to create a more robust and versatile crypto ecosystem?
That's a fascinating question to consider. The crypto world is all about innovation and collaboration. It wouldn't be surprising to see projects like Algorand and Bitcoin, each with its own strengths, find ways to interact and potentially even enhance each other's functionalities. After all, a more diverse and interconnected crypto ecosystem ultimately benefits everyone involved.
Well said. The future of crypto is full of possibilities, and I think it's exciting to see projects like Algorand pushing the boundaries and exploring new frontiers.
I agree. And who knows what innovative solutions will emerge in the years to come. It's an exciting time to be following the development of blockchain technology.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, we'll wrap up our discussion on Algorand. We hope this discussion has been insightful and has sparked your curiosity to learn more. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and as always, stay tuned for more fascinating discussions into the world of crypto.
So to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this discussion. We hope you found it valuable and insightful.
We encourage you to continue your own exploration of the crypto market. Do your research, stay informed, and most importantly, don't be afraid to ask questions and challenge assumptions.
That's great advice. And remember, as always, this discussion has been for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Please leave a like or even better, subscribe to this channel. And bye, friends.
Bitcoin Radio, the sound of the chain.